even in winter things tend to freeze. We got the world monopoly on trees, and our country's bordered by 3 different seas.
Yeah, I know that you want to be Canadian, please.
Somebody should mute their stream. Somebody should mute their stream.
There we go. All right, everything's good.
Okay, we feed back in. No,
No,
we are so feeding back in.
we are. How are we feeding back in?
Somebody has the stream going.
How are we feeding back in? I had the stream going for 2 seconds.
There you go.
It was going for 2 seconds to A, check that all the sound's good, and B, that we clicked the right buttons.
Alright, there we go. I'm not sorry about Celine Dion. You'd be sorry about Celine Dion.
Be sorry about Celine Dion? Fuck no. I didn't give birth to her, sign her, give her a contract, or make her music. I got nothing to fucking be sorry about, bitch.
I mean, you should be sorry for Celine Dion. I mean, if she's popular, it's because some of you bought her CDs.
Hey, Sixer. Well, no, if anything, a Quebecer should be sorry for her, okay?
She's
hey,
not
Red
from
Feather.
Quebec, though.
But she's all French and shit, so she belongs
Doesn't mean
to
she's
Quebec.
from Quebec, though.
Yes, it does. All of the French
Doesn't.
is Quebec from. They want him.
Hi, Red. Hi, Sixer.
Yo, everybody. We are live and stuff, and that means we have stuff to say while we're live and stuff.
Yeah,
Note,
it
said
also
a
means
lot
I
of
can
things.
go outside and smoke my joint. So I'm going to put my mic near the window and hope that you guys can hear me. I'm not going to talk too loudly because I'm on my balcony. Sorry, I really want this joint, and I broke my pipe. I broke my pipe. I'm still sad because I broke my pipe. You don't understand. It was a $60 pipe I got for $16. I don't have replacement funds. I'll live.
Oh, I have an article that pissed me off already.
You will
Just saying.
Good.
Yep. As inflation soars, Canadians on social assistance describe sinking deeper into poverty. And I'm thinking, why didn't you pick ODSP? Why the welfare scum? But okay. Hi, Box.
All right, I'm standing
Anyway.
at the door. I have no idea how well you guys can hear me, but you should let me know. Is that good?
You're good. Yep.
Okay, good.
Just
If
a very
anything, my
small
brother can
meal.
talk to you from the sink. He is doing dishes.
Hi, Jen's brother. Just a very small meal once a day. You missed a spot. As inflation soars, Canadians on social assistance describe sinking deeper into poverty because inflation and all of the other things. And Trudeau, let me give you a little help. When you blow money into the population, when you blow money at us, and you blow money into it, okay? You know what happens? Inflation. So whenever you sit there and go, it's those corporates. They're price gouging. I mean, they're running their pockets. As Trudeau takes a flight to wherever. Sit there and just think about it. So their line is, all corporate bigwigs have always been greedy. So why would inflation make their greed increase when they've always been greedy? Why would, that doesn't make any sense. You know, if they've always been greedy, it should just stay a consistent high price of fuck you. But it doesn't. Secondly, I now decree that you should have to have an economics major to be prime minister. Here, people who agree with me. Matter of fact, President too. Trucker, just to include you, President too. Anybody that is president or prime minister should have a degree in economics, and not from the same place that AOC got hers. One caveat there, because that, no Michiganders. I mean, they're nice and all, but no. Nobody from any college in Michigan or university, whatever. But you should have to know fucking economics.
Or at least hire somebody who's not the reason we probably practice Common Core.
Well, here's the thing. Even hiring your administrator for economics, you need to know that they're good at economics. And if you don't know economics yourself, then you don't know if they're full of shit or not. So how do you hire them? Huh? How do you pick people for these jobs? Hey, big girl, if you don't know shit about how money works, about how the country works, and if you don't know shit about how the country works, then I don't believe that you've always wanted to be prime minister for the good of the people. Because if it was for the good of the people, you would make sure you knew about your country and how it works. So that's how we weed out the shit politicians, is those kind of codes of conduct. Just Pierre is slowly winning me over, but I have a degree still of mistrust, which I think he would find fair. I was listening to him talk to Jordan Peterson. There we go.
There you go.
Right.
Donation.
Lucky Charms donation.
Oh, God.
I wish to shove a big Dick Van Dyke in me as Scotsman film it.
Yeah, we don't care.
Thank you, Big Joe. Thank you. I will gladly be your therapist. And my advice is, get a therapist.
Why is always the, like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're the 5 Cent Lucy. Got it.
Poor Lucy. I mean, her name gets used every time.
Right?
But yeah, I was like, oh, he's adopted. Originally from Saskatchewan, huh? Interesting. And then he did his schools in the Calgary, and I'm like, interesting. And he was talking about kind of what he believes in and what his viewpoints were. And they're not as conservative as I would like, but he does believe in small government because of how the free market works. He has a good foundational understanding of capitalism and why it is superior. He understands that it ain't perfect, but he understands that government needs to get the fuck out of the way. It's like, for example, I'll use America's government, okay?
Yeah.
Formula shortage.
Yeah.
Now, FDA closes down one of the major factories that makes this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had done that, a smart politician would then relieve the FDA on imports from other countries so that we wouldn't have babies going hungry. But instead, they increased, so baby formula couldn't get in from Germany and Britain and all the places that make it, shut down a major plant, and sent a bunch to the border.
Yep.
What that shows you is a complete and blatant disregard for you, and you should storm the Capitol with pitchforks.
Oh, well, if they can't have their abortions, then you can't feed your babies. Sorry, was that horrible? Sounds pretty
The
horrible.
real twist to that story is
Uh-oh.
on the pretenses that they couldn't prove anyway.
And Big Joe, honey, don't get Scotsman to film it. Get Scotsman to be the one that shoves the thing in your ass. That's what I like to say. Scotsman will enjoy it a lot more than you. I finally pulled it up from Reddit.
I see.
Took me a while to get there, but I got it. By golly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I am high too, so
It's all good. We're all high except for you, Trucker. You are driving this stream. Hopefully not, though.
Yeah, well, I
What
mean,
now?
Kidding.
you're.
I'm making stoner jokes. You're the only sober person in the room.
Yep.
It's Friday, at least.
And speaking of Quebec and their bad French, Jen.
Yep.
Quebec's Halloween attacker, who used a sword, found guilty on first-degree murder. Yes, that's right. A guy on Halloween used a sword to kill somebody in Quebec.
Not surprised. It's Quebec.
Exactly.
They're just drama queens out over there, you know.
Yeah, at least he knew enough to get his hands dirty. As long as he went and then swung the sword, that's true Quebec crazy fashion. Hey, Batman. True Quebec crazy fashion. So, I don't want to help this fight for me. I'll fight for me myself, thanks. I don't have anybody to give you anyway. Let's see. Federal judge blocks Biden administration from retiring Title 42. Really? Really? Joe Biden didn't get to take out Title 42? Huh. I thought that was going to pass. Shit. Let's see. Detransitioner Helena Kirchner testifies how online communities convinced her she was male. Honey, while I'm good with your side because your side is the anti-trans stuff, I would just like to say that getting victim status from our side isn't going to work for you, okay? Because we're going to pick it out right away. See, don't point fingers and say, well, you convinced me, because at the end of the day, honey, you have personal agency. So, all I have to say about that, I mean, when you were transitioning, you probably got victim points for that. And now you want victim points for being a detransitioner, saying that you got convinced to do it. And I know that girls are susceptible to being convinced to do pretty much anything, including cocaine. But come on now. Personal agency. Agency. I love that. If we can get blind girl drunk enough, maybe Jen too. You want to get me drunk? I mean, I would agree. I don't think anybody else would. The kidney thing.
Nah, I don't drink. I don't drink. I get stonered, but I don't drink. Yeah, I'm weird that way. Everyone's allowed to have one sin,
What?
I'm hearing Wilson so well. Okay, for a second there, he was a little bit like a motor. Wilson, yep. Are you turning into a robot? Are you a robot, kitty? Samurai Ninja Cats.
Yep, that was a yes.
So he's talking to me now. He's like, "Hi, Jen. How you doing, Jen? I'm aware of how stoned you are. You know what happens when you become stoned? One of your fluffy animals starts talking to you. So we're gonna have to really name Wilson to Scooby.
Scooby don't talk back.
He kind of does, though.
He does. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to respect. What? What? You have nothing to say now? Are you microphone shy? You are? Okay. Anything else? No? Don't eat that. I know you're not hungry. I just fed you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Meow.
Remember that thing that I said last week? I mean, it's okay because we're both stoned, but remember that thing that I said last week? Breaking San Francisco, and you're not a cat. Archbishop says Pelosi cannot receive communion due to her pro-abortion stance. Now, that's funny. And that's funny to me only because why are you announcing this now? I assume Pelosi has talked about her abortion stance before. I assume you've watched her on camera do a lot of really bad shit. So she's probably a terrible cunt her whole fucking life. And just now, oh shit, I scared him off. Just now, Pelosi can't receive communion. I hope you burn in hell, sir. But I agree. And Batsy left. Oh crap, I probably made Batsy sad. I'm sorry.
Well, no, there's this thing called rules, and it's either we abide by rules or we don't abide by rules. And if you don't abide by rules and you make your friends have to behave like assholes to you, then that's kind of a you thing. Sorry.
I did what I wanted to do, blind girl. Ah, you butthead. Cryptic. I was about to say something, you probably know what I was going to say, and then I realized you probably didn't want me to say it out loud on air, so I'm not going to say it, but happy the thing I'm not saying.
Happy birthday, Cryptic. Hey, I'm old too. I'm allowed to. I'm older than you too, young man, so, like, senior's privilege. I think Trucker's older than me too, so senior's privilege.
Oh my god, Jagmeet Singh says the vast majority of Canadians want mandatory vax and mandatory vax passport. No, we don't. Didn't we prove that to you in Ottawa?
Should we make him feel awkward? Oh, he ran away. Cryptic ran away. Yeah. Dang it. He was like, they're going to threaten to sing happy birthday. Well, you know, at the end of the stream, when he comes back, we will totally sing happy birthday.
I was hatched out of an egg, so no birthdays. That's funny.
Still technically your birthday.
Wait, wait, are you a reptile or a bird? Or a fish? What else lays eggs?
He's a platypus.
Do they lay eggs?
Yes.
Yes.
They're cute as fuck, but they're scary as hell.
They're weird as hell.
Yeah, and they pain as hell.
Well, the coolest thing about Cryptic is he's so much of a platypus. Every now and then you see him rooting around the dirt with his nose.
Cryptic is such a platypus that you can make a custard with his own byproducts, and he'd eat it.
I thought only platypus and echidnas are the only mammals that lay eggs. What the fuck is an echidna?
For the record, my joke wasn't that good. It was the part where I could hear my brother cursing in his room that's making me laugh.
Amphibians lay eggs, insects lay eggs, so do arachnids. Oh, that's a lot of eggs. I came out of a spider egg. Ugh. Well, you're destined to have a short fucking life then. I mean, think about it. Most spiders, the women are the coolest.
Yeah, most spiders, if you fall off your mom, she eats you. You're welcome.
Yeah, and then most spider wives eat dead Spider-Man.
Well, that too, but yeah.
So that means if they ever made a transgender Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man would just get eaten. Which, I mean, it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Netflix scraps Ibram X. Kendi's anti-racist baby, among other woke shows.
Faceless.
Which is just, I mean, I'm surprised What I also loved it, hey, look, it's the cook. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I made some, what did I make last week? Empanadas? Enchiladas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made enchiladas. They were awesome. The end.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Breaking. Elon Musk blast untrue allegation. It never happened. Vows to continue fight for free speech. Oh, right. Aren't they trying to say that he paid some girl to not say that he asked her for sex on a plane or some shit like that?
So the story goes, she worked as a stewardess on one of SpaceX's corporate planes, and supposedly SpaceX wants the girls to be licensed masseuses as well, or encourage them to get their massage license. And supposedly, or the way the story goes, Elon Musk wanted a massage. She started giving him the massage. Supposedly during said massage, he rolled over, lifted up the towel, showed her his junk. She politely declined. He said, okay. You know, he said, okay. They finished the massage.
And he paid
And
her hush money.
do what now?
And he paid her hush money.
Well, the hush money came from supposedly after that she started being posted on less and less flights. And she went to HR under retaliation for not doing that. And that's where they said, okay, $250,000, get the hell out of here, and you're going to sign an NDA. Now
here's the interesting part. Did you listen to Ben Shapiro's take on this?
what, as far as $250,000? It's a nuisance. It's a nuisance to pay out more than anything else.
That's a nuisance to pay out. And he said, listen here, if you had the goods, if you really had the goods of this.
Well, that's
Here's
precisely how.
the thing. He goes, a lawyer would not say settle on $250,000. The richest man in the fucking world. Oh, no. You're not settling for that amount of money. That's peanuts. That's nothing. This didn't happen.
Well, this is the same. This is actually the same sort of scam that actually earned Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton all their money. Is the fact that it's cheaper. It's cheaper just to give them the money they want to get them the hell out of your office.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to going through the rigmarole of what they're going to try to drag you through.
Correct.
Now the worst case is.
It would not have been that low to make her hush over that.
No, it wouldn't have been that low. Not against one of the world's richest men. Now the worst part about it is, supposedly this is. I mean, so the story wasn't even told by the girl who did it to, or that it happened to. It happened by one of her. Right, it was her friend who she disclosed it to during a hike, and her friend, her friend couldn't keep it to herself, although apparently she did for 6 years. So
yeah,
it's
all bullshit. And Elon Warner's always like, prepare for bullshit. When I say I'm gonna vote Republican,
and
I'm just like, wow. And the Republicans aren't even that great. But they're better than our conservatives.
No, but that's a lot of backing from somebody. I mean, it might not be everybody, but that's still somebody shifting the goalposts. And I could see other corporations doing it too, actually. It's not going to be just Elon Musk.
No, it's not. Other corporations will, except for his competitors. His competitors will then go to Democrats.
Some of them already are.
Unless they like their business, in which case then they'll say Republican. So Ford, Chevy, those are Democrats.
Well, the wild thing is to think that Elon actually almost, when that story was published, Elon Musk actually, almost immediately challenged the thing, saying, pretty much saying, hey, the person who made this accusation named something uniquely identifiable about me that is not public knowledge. So he's basically daring, because at this point, if this story is true, the girl, considering
Lucky
the girl
Charms
told her friend
donation.
she has
I
violated
pulled out my
the
dong on a
NDA,
plane once.
therefore
It was
she's
a
about to get
private
the
plane,
fuck
if you know
suit
what
out
I
of her.
mean. Let's just
So
say,
at this
I heard
point,
a
you
few
might as well
giggles.
come forward,
Does that mean they like what they saw?
because the
Yeah.
cat's out of the bag. Because if it is true,
Maybe
you just
donation.
proved.
But no, too late.
Oh shoot. Oh crap. Sorry, I can't hear it, so I don't know.
Okay, well, your dog pulled somebody's dog pulled a dong on a private plane, and yeah.
I pulled out my dog, this is Big Joe by the way, on a plane once. It was a private plane, if you know what I mean. Yeah, a private plane is just a fucking private plane. How would we not know what you mean unless we're fucking imbeciles? But anyways, let's just say I heard a few giggles. Does that mean they like what they saw? No, that means they find you hilarious. Never do that again.
You do realize to be a member of the Mile High Club, you kind of have to have a partner. Anyway.
And it not be poop. Yeah, you know what? I've discerned two things. Okay, so Musk, being who he is, this means he has a tattoo in a very naughty place. Otherwise, he wouldn't dare her to say what it is and know that she doesn't know what it is. Or there is nothing unique at all about his naked body, but he knows that she's not going to be able to, just say that and prove that, because, I mean, who would believe that? But I think he has something naughty somewhere, naughty. That made him a little hotter, just a little. I don't think he's hot at all, nor would I want to fuck him, but that just made it a little spicier. I mean, he's got balls.
He definitely does, and he's been kind of rubbing it everywhere. It's been amazing. No, I don't think he has two dicks, Batman. I don't think he's I don't think he's a quad.
Okay, you know what I think? I think every person with a whole lot of money should carry a briefcase just full of random NDAs. Okay? That you can pull out, write the person's name on it, write your name on it, and both of you sign it before you fuck anything ever. Anytime you are about to have sex with anybody, NDAs, just right there. Have a lawyer, present to be able to witness it, and then fuck off while you fuck, But other than that, like NDAs, signed, seriously. This needs to start happening. Every single one of them. Then this kind of shit smear campaign won't be able to have happened. And then we can stop with this shit so we can disseminate information without the fucking media machine fucking with our thoughts.
You know what, Batman? I think he just has a mood color changing dick. It's like when his mood changes, his dick changes colors. You're welcome.
Posh Shank Redemption? What?
How you doing, Tracker?
What? Okay. What is this? Posh Shark Redemption. $125,000 settlement reached in government's multi-year legal battle against. What?
There's a donation.
Big_Dro donated $3 Canadian. What does Elon call his old man?
Dear.
His Tesla coil.
What does Elon call his old man?
His Tesla coil.
Coil. Wow.
We're doing great.
At least that wasn't disgusting.
Right? It was normal almost. Almost.
No. So yeah, Paul Shank Redemption. Anybody It's more American shit because we don't have anything good going on up here. But apparently, a
What?
tabby cat lawsuit. Pawshank Redemption, $125,000 settlement reached in government's multi-year legal battle against tabby cat.
Against tabby cats?
Yeah. The
Hence
county
the
indicated.
whole Paul Shank redemption.
Yeah, Pawshank Redemption. I don't get it. It says the county indicated to me that Miska was a known terror cat, and this made me wonder: is Miska a member of Al Qaeda?
I'm posting an image in Arms' text chat, knowing full well that it's going to trigger Skittles. You're welcome.
He's not around to see it.
Oh, he will be eventually. That's all that matters.
Okay, you're not wrong. A
But
woman
even Trucker looking at it, and you might be driving, so don't do it until you're not driving. But even Trucker looking at that is gonna giggle a little bit, and then be mad, be very mad.
A woman in Bellevue, Washington, received a $125,000 settlement after a drawn-out legal battle involving her tabby cat, Miska, who was targeted by the city and county. The infamous cat was at the center of a perfect storm. Oh, Jesus Christ, can you stop with those? Of legal issues, motherfuckers, surrounding a government agency's prosecution of a family's cat and its owner, costing King County tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. The fuck? Miska was the most prosecuted cat in Bellevue and in King County, probably in the state of Washington. Some random person I can't pronounce, cat owner, and a foreign attorney told the Ari Hoffman show on talk radio. Okay, what do I care? Foreign guy took the case in 2017. Jesus. Adjacent neighbors had complained against Miska for alleged trespassing, for alleged taunting of other pets, a cat taunting. Can you believe it? I mean, birds fly, right? Well, I mean, cats technically taunt, but they don't do it with their faces, they do it through urine. I don't know why people are going after the cat. Why are people going after the cat? Governmental overreach happened because of ongoing prosecution of her and her cat over several years by the city of Bellevue, King County. Why do I care? Why is this a story? Foreign guy told Hoffman, the county indicated to me that Miska was a known terror cat, and this made me wonder, is Miska a member of Al Qaeda? Bellevue is not a right-to-roam city, meaning that owners can be held liable for damage done by their cats outside the confines of their property. Is that reserved to just cats, or is that for dogs pooping on their lawn too? Miska has been in and out of the pen since 2014. Is there a cat jail?
Probably.
According to her attorneys, I can't believe I just said that.
Donation.
Lucky Charms donation. I stopped telling BG jokes about blind people. She didn't see the point.
Something about stop saying.
Motherfucker. I stopped telling BG about blind jokes. She didn't see the point. Oh, about jokes about blind people. Sorry, I didn't see the point. I mean, you're not wrong, and at the same time, ha. Stop it. And as for the poor fucking cat, there's kitty jail. What is confinement order? Essentially house arrest. Well, cats should be house cats anyways. You can't protect them when they're outside and shit. And they don't come when they're called. Unless they're inside the house. So,
yeah. Like Sixer said, Batman, sleep well, Flatman.
Oh, God.
I just like that. That was funny.
I just had to read this because I'm wondering what's with the yeah, now I regret this article. Goddamn joke. Elon Musk says he was spot on about Democrats being the party of hate after relentless hate stream. What?
Well, you know.
You have something to say? Something you want to say? Is there somebody on this stream you want to say that to?
Hello, what is that? Meow. He's like, Jen smells like tuna. I'm like, I don't know why I smell like tuna. He's like, Jen smells like tuna.
What do you want?
You need to wash something.
I had a shower, but my brother might have, actually, I don't know that I smell like tuna. He might have had tuna. He has a tendency to leave cans on the counter.
Stop it. Stop it.
He does. Or he leaves them in the sink with water, and then, I'll wake up the next day, and I'm like, why does my whole house smell like tuna? And I go to the kitchen, like, oh, well, that's why.
See, in a case like that, I would have said something like, to keep from smelling the area you need to wash, the water needs to go the opposite direction instead of falling down.
Yeah. I don't want to say that to my sibling.
Relentless hate streams. Wow. I didn't know this was a thing,
I get. Relentless hate streams. What hate streams? Oh, I guess TC's going to bed too. That makes sense. All our British people are going to sleep. I guess that makes sense.
Well, it is midnight for them.
Yeah, it is. It's Friday though.
So if all this trouble is after this one cat, is this one cat's accomplice going to be there or going to be involved too?
Yes.
That's this cat's Maine Coon. That's the best I got for that.
Yep. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh. And then? She stops at the Jesus Christ, guys. That's what she likes to do.
You have our attention.
I don't know if I want to say this. I mean, this is back-to-back articles of it.
All right.
Ah, Jesus Christ. 3 of them in a row. Okay. Trucker parental guidance warning. Groomer epidemic. 135 teachers and aides charged with child sex crimes so far in 2022. Next article. Children's book depicting graphic teen sex causes concern among parents. One of them is a guide for 4 to 8-year-olds.
Yeah,
My body throw it.
We did that one the other day.
Oh no, this is a whole new one.
Oh, okay.
And then, on top of that, Oregon student says biological males take advantage of inclusive bathroom policy to prey on girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This all was within yesterday.
Yep.
Biological
Well-
male absolutely demolishes female competitors to win women's surfing competition. And Wednesday we had one about a man dominating a girl in a skateboarding competition.
Yep.
Yep.
Zombie apocalypse, folks. Told ya. I mean, just because they're not eating people doesn't mean they aren't eating people. Your brains are next. Protect your brains.
Remember when it comes to woke companies, I've got a picture of a billboard that the photo I took myself of Under Armour. That company actually putting out a woke billboard that says what was it? Something along the lines of talent isn't or sports talent is determined by will, not by gender. In a case like that, sounds a lot to me like, the wokeness is basically Under Armour saying women get better.
Yep. That's basically it. Get better, noob.
Yep, that's wow. Oh, and Canada bans Huawei ZTE from telecom systems. In other words, there's no 5G for you.
Translation, they have a new one.
Yes.
Sorry.
No 5G for you. Huawei, no 5G for you. And of course, China's like, damn you, Canada! And I'm like, yeah.
Translation, they probably have a new one. So while they're switching that one over to that one, I wouldn't be surprised if they just have a different one.
Considering 6G, they are working on 6G right now.
There you go. No point on a 5G if you're already working on a 6G.
Well, considering and everywhere I go, maybe 10% of the area is in 5G. Hell, half the time I don't have signal at all.
Southern Atlanta apparently has a autonomous zone.
Another one?
Yep. Far left extremists from across the country heading to autonomous zone in southern Atlanta. Huh.
Yeah. This is happening in Atlanta. Yeah, that's not going to end well.
It's not. And I've been hearing a lot of people bitch about the fact that $40 billion is going to Ukraine from America. Personally, I think Canada should be helping them with that.
Yeah, well, we should be.
Well,
But Trudeau needs to pay for his holiday somehow.
well, I think it's wild that 40 billion was absolute party lines was the way the votes. Zero Democrats voted against it, including the quote unquote anti-war squad.
Yep.
There is no such thing as an anti-war Democrat now.
Well, I don't think it just because you're helping a country is pro-war. Just because you don't want the country to fall to Russia doesn't mean you're pro-war. Like, yeah, go to war. I mean, I'm looking at it from my own conservative bias, but I think it's in Canada's best interest to not let Russia get stronger by taking the breadbasket and reforming the Soviet Union. It's better that our enemies stay weaker than get stronger. So I think it's within our interest to help America.
It would be within your interest as far as to be anti-Russia in this sense, but the problem is, in this case, if Ukraine wins and manages to repel Russia and keep Russia out for good, the problem is it's only going to be a matter of time before they start out in Ukraine as predominantly literal Nazis again, like they did just before this happened.
I don't care
And
if you
then
call them literal Nazis. What does that matter? It keeps our enemies weaker.
there's the thing. I mean, it's two people who we're supposed to completely oppose. So
It is two people that were supposed to completely oppose, and I would like them to stay two separate people that hate each other, not one united USSR, because that would be enemy strong versus just we shouldn't be on either side because they both suck. Like yours is a contention of, well, it's kind of hypocritical to be pro-Ukraine, whereas I'm just I would like for that gun to not get bigger and then point back at us.
I'd like to. I personally at this point kind of think that if we're going to send any money or munitions over to Ukraine, we go ahead and send a couple of them high yield nukes over there and make it to neither one of them are a problem for a long time.
Yeah, but that's pro mass murder of innocents. I mean, there's going to be innocents no matter what, but that is so blood curdling cold and so just, hey, you know what? There's kids there. There's innocents there. We don't care. Boom, gone. Isn't that like telling everybody that lives there they get to pay the price for what their governments have done?
Yeah, you could say that.
That they'd have to pay for the sins of it just to get them out of our hair?
I'm not saying it ain't horrific. I'm just saying that's the one way to guarantee to end this shit.
Yes and no, because once you turn them into a parking lot, at some point, China's going to step over them to get into Taiwan. Like China's watching what happens with Ukraine right now very carefully, and the minute Russia gets the breadbasket, Taiwan's next. And then
China's not watching. China is actively helping Russia.
Yeah, but it's watching what happens with Ukraine, because if Ukraine goes and we do nothing, then that means they're emboldened to go take on Taiwan. And they're the ones that are making a certain kind of chip for us right now. So one of two things is going to happen. Everything we own is full of Chinese spyware and they're watching us constantly. Or two, they just say, nope, no chips for you. And then we're in trouble.
Well, if technology crashes down, find yourself a Gen Xer. They'll be able to show you how to handle it, how to handle dealing without technology.
And then not only that, but Turkey is pissed about Finland and Sweden joining NATO, which means Turkey's probably watching to see if they can start a proxy war too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Iraq and Iran get their hands in the pie there too. This kind of isolation weakness. This is, yeah, you know.
Did you hear about George Bush? You bringing up Iraq just reminded me of George Bush's little gaffe the other day.
Nope. Sorry, I yawned.
You're
kind of had his.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Slag, sorry.
Just kind of reminded me George Bush had a little slip of the tongue and was trying to validate or trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to say why we should go into Ukraine, and had a little slip of the tongue and said that because of everything going on, we ought to go into Iraq. Ooh. He actually had the slip of the tongue that said Iraq.
Oh. BLM co-founder says mistakes she made with $90 million in white guilt money are being weaponized. $90 million is a lot of mistakes there, lady. Like
Embezzlement is not.
You can't lose $90 million and then go, but mistakes are made. They were made.
She should have done what Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson did. Funnel it through a second organization first.
Anyway, I'm laughing at a meme of the Disinformation Governance Board being escorted out in a coffin. You know, the coffin meme. Rest in pieces. Because that was a waste of your time and taxpayer dollars. You're welcome, America.
Although I like that the Disinformation Board was taken out because of disinformation. It's like, wait. What?
I find it funny they lasted right about as long as CNN and Plus did.
Right? It's the minute she started doing that little song number, and I was just like, no, you need to get rid of that. I'm sorry. No one's going to take that seriously, for one. And if they do, it's terrifying.
Yep.
Don't put that in charge of anything. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the worst part about that mess is, okay, so everybody's saying she quit. She didn't quit. She just stepped down as the head.
Mm-hmm.
She's still employed by this board. This board still exists. It's just quote unquote put on pause. So there's a thing right now. It means nobody there is actually doing anything. The weird twist of that is they're all still getting paid as if they were operating.
She stepped down, but really what that means is she was fired.
She stepped down. She did not quit. She stepped down as the director, which means she's still employed by them.
No, she went back to her job before that. She said that's what she was doing. Mm-hmm.
She probably didn't want to lose what was left.
Bush saying, yes, Red Feather, George Bush's thing about going into Iraq was a Freudian slip. Or just history repeating itself.
Maybe.
Well, there's the thing about this government disinformation board is when it boiled down to it, from the very beginning, they were doing this is why everyone was joking about it being the Ministry of Truth, is they were fighting quote unquote misinformation, which when it boils down to it, the Democrats and the leftists pretty much define misinformation as anything I don't agree with, yet feeding their own.
You're not wrong.
They're feeding their while trying to feed their own disinformation. Because because here's the thing, misinformation's missing a little detail or two that just invalidates something, where disinformation is intentional lies. This Nina, whatever her name was, who was the board of it, was sitting there pushing that whole Steele dossier, which was immediately proven to be completely wrong. So she sat there and pushed the Russian Trump thing. She pushed the Russia Trump collusion thing. She sat there and talked about how the Hunter Biden laptop was, she said that was fake, but the Russia Trump thing was true, which is completely 180 as opposed to the facts, where the Russia Trump thing was fake and the Hunter Biden laptop was true. So, they're literally pushing their own misinformation, their own BS.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what? The whole reason why they even did this is because of the Nord Stream pipeline. Because Biden 180'd that, okay? Think about this. Maybe this is revenge of the Bidens because Trump was like, Ukraine, I was hunter for all the stuff. And then everybody's like, Russia colluded you? So maybe, just so that nobody ever finds out the truth ever again, Biden's like, fuck it, bye, Ukraine, and just let Russia walk in. There's my conspiracy theory. Prove me wrong, bitches.
Sure.
I just made that up too.
The thing is, my conspiracy theory about the whole thing when it comes to Russia, Ukraine, and Biden is, I definitely think Hunter and Biden were poisoning America to become completely dependent on Ukraine for their oil, but Putin saw it as the chance to pretty much, we put ourselves in the point where we were going to be so dependent on them. Putin came in and is now trying to take over to make us reliant on them.
So
instead.
then you guys were like, you know what? I'll show you, and now reliant on Venezuela.
Mhm.
Yep.
I just paid yesterday. I paid to put gas in my pickup truck. It cost me. Oh dear, what was it? Let me pull up the receipt real quick. Oops. Yesterday it cost me $65 to. Yesterday it cost me $65 to fill my pickup truck up with gas. Right, the same amount a day, but the same amount of fuel when Biden took office would have been $25, $26. So.
Sorry, keep going. I'm laughing at you.
Sorry. Actually, in a case like that, you know what? Let me pull something up real quick. Jen, I got something you might enjoy.
Hmm?
Are you in a position to be able to play a video?
No. Why?
Because hell, I got a video here where Tom Hollins, I want to say his name was, representative was interviewing Biden's when Biden's energy or Secretary of Energy or Energy Secretary, whatever her title is. He was interviewing her about talking about it in his home state. The fuel right now is $4, is $4 and some odd cents. And he was saying when Biden, and it's up considerably from when Biden took office. She decided to pull the whole, because of Putin's price increase, and he cut her off right there and started going in on everything that Biden has done to increase gas prices.
I mean, you could always share the link in the chat for the text chat.
Give me in text chat,
or well, not text chat, but in the YouTube chat.
in the actual chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Why am I reading this?
I'm working on it. Mind everybody in the chat. I am in a.
No, it's. So I decided to go back to the Canadian front. I wanted to see what the CBC had to say about things.
There you are.
And the CBC blame Alberta. Alberta, you gosh darn done it again.
Yeah.
What we do?
And Big Joe, you're not wrong. Fuel price the day I took note of it, the day Biden took office. The actual gas station that I got gas at that day was $1.79. Yesterday, when I got gas at the same gas station, it was $4.49.
Okay. With Kenny's exit, the resistance era is over. But something louder might follow. Dun, dun, dun. Because you guys were the common front against the carbon tax.
Uh-huh.
But now, because Kenny has resigned, that means you have failed. So what's next?
No. His party's still in charge. They're looking to elect another person.
Yep.
Whoever the author is doesn't know how we work. They're fucking retarded.
Yep.
I mean, it does enact another election, but that was coming up anyway, so.
Yep.
Another dipshit NDP supporter who's trying to claim themselves as something else.
Late in 2018, Maclean's magazine put 5 conservative leaders on its cover and billed them as the Resistance or La Résistance, an apparent play on the name of the movement that had emerged to oppose Donald Trump in the United States. Of course. The 3 premiers and 2 party leaders on the cover were presented as a united front against a push by the federal Liberal government to implement a national price of carbon emissions. Less than 4 years later, just 2 members of the resistance are still standing. Andrew Scheer resigned as federal conservative, you don't fucking say, leader, a little more than a year after appearing on that cover.
Yeah,
Brian,
he's still in the party.
Yeah, Hollister announced his intention to step down as Manitoba Premier, of fucking course, in August 2021. Jason Kenney, fuck, who killed Kenny, just fucking did it on Wednesday after discovering that only 51.4% of his party's members supported his leadership. That doesn't necessarily mean they agree with the carbon tax, though, article writer. Meanwhile, a carbon tax is in place in all 10 provinces. Justin Trudeau is still Prime Minister, and one of the 2 remaining members on the resistance, Ontario's Premier, Doug Fucker, is now fond of pointing out how famously he gets along with Trudeau's second-in-command, Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland. What, you don't like her? Well, it's not my fault. No, stop it. Shut up. A losing battle against the carbon tax. So what you're saying is we can't beat it, so we might as well just pay it? Is that what you're saying? Huh? The Conservative Party's miscalculation may have been twofold. It's possible, for instance, that the Trudeau government's decision to return revenue from the carbon tax to households via rebates undercut conservative claims that the tax was a monstrous imposition. In other words, is you tried to buy us, right? You tried to buy the votes, saying, no, don't end the carbon tax because we get money for that. So, in other words, is you just had a famous ploy to take money from businesses who pass the cost on to people and just transfer the wealth to whoever you gave the check to, right? Right? It's also possible that public opinion had shifted considerably since 2008. The fact that I'm on a fixed income and I also have to pay the price problems with the fucking carbon tax. So I get charged for that as well, but I don't get any of that money back. When conservatives successfully pilloried then Liberal leader Stéphane Dion's proposed carbon tax. But now by 2019, it wasn't enough to condemn your opponent's choice or on climate policy. You needed to have a credible climate plan of your own. And Scheer didn't. Really? You think Scheer lost just because of climate change? That's a large assumption because that assumes that the majority of Canadians think we're going to die in the next however many fucking years.
They really preyed upon the elderly is what they did. They're like, oh, well, we've destroyed the earth and, you know, we should fix it. It's not a bad thing to recycle. It's not a bad thing to reduce stuff. You know, that stuff's not stuff I'm opposed to. It's just when you waste people's time and money on it, I have an issue with that. Because not everybody's up for it.
Well, here's the thing. That would assume then that it's the boomer's fault that Trudeau's in office, which, all right, let's go kill me a boomer.
Right? A lot of the people who write that shit would like to do that. Honestly. But part of the problem is a lot of people instigating that kind of nonsense are boomers. The left are like a revolving door of circle stupidity. I think we already know that already, though. Like, they just like to hit themselves in the head with their own ideas, basically. I've got a great plan, guys! Oh, watch as it smacks me back in my face.
So this writer is worried that he was pushed out because he wasn't considered conservative enough. I dance on that line, but at the same time, I found him the last conservative stronghold we had in Canada because I can tell you, Ontario is not a conservative stronghold. It's now popular. Masquerading as conservative, of course. So yeah. The resistance begets a louder resistance. Oh, fuck off. I don't want to read any of that either. This is stupid. I hope you didn't get paid by the word because this is stupid.
Probably.
Quebec City sword attacker, already read about that. Canada investigating a couple dozen suspected monkeypox cases. For fuck's sake, it's just monkeypox. Go get your smallpox vaccine, you're fine, the end. Tamara Leach, to find out Wednesday if she's returning to jail. She's getting sentenced on Wednesday? Huh, they rushed that.
I think Viva Fry actually just had a stream about that today.
I thought he was streaming about Tamara Leach.
That's who I was just talking about.
Okay.
Tamara Leach, she's going to get sentenced on Wednesday.
Yeah, they're mad at her because she got an award. And they're like, that's showing support. And I'm like, isn't that them showing support to her? But okay.
Yep, and another residential school, they're gonna unbury the bodies. 215 unmarked graves. Wow. I'm sure the dead care so much that you're doing this for them. What? Officials confirm 10 cases of severe unexplained hepatitis among Canadian children. What? Severe and mysterious cases of hepatitis over a recent 5-month period. So there's a new hepatitis? Following an investigation into unexplained liver inflammation in children. Did they have their COVID shot? Because maybe that's what caused it. But The fuck? 10 children in Canada were found to be suffering from severe and mysterious cases of hepatitis. Do kids get hepatitis that young? And which type of hepatitis? The cases
Either
of
bacterial or viral.
Well, hepatitis A, B, or C, and E. Which one? The cases of acute severe hepatitis did not stem from the usual viruses such as hepatitis A, B, C, and E. So they have no idea what kind of hepatitis it is. All the children were hospitalized and 2 needed livers. 3 of the cases were in Alberta, 2 in Manitoba, 4 in Ontario, and 1 was in Quebec, but nobody likes Quebec. The children were all between 1 and 13 and became sick between November 3rd and April 2nd. This is really odd. I'm assuming they're going to go, where does it come from? Some researchers have pointed to COVID-19 and adenovirus, a family of viruses that typically cause cold or flu-like illness, as possible suspects. Why? Is that because of the virus itself, or the vaccines? Its investigation is very broad and counts any children with liver inflammation or uncertain cause. Huh. That's really weird. Like a new kind of hepatitis. That's weird. Wait, why are we suddenly getting just bio fucking shit? It's like, look at how well COVID works. I think I want to just fucking biologically fuck everybody. Like, who does that?
Attempts to control.
No, it's annoying and they should stop it. Like, seriously. Early Chinese Canadian gold miners, remembered for their contribution to BC's caribou communities. What? Why? And what does gold mining have to do with caribou? It's not fucking caribou. Yeah, fucking caribou.
And their nasty ass coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow cherished Blackfoot items ended up in Devon, England. Now they're headed home. What? I don't know. Trudeau says Huawei CTE 5G ban took longer because governments wanted to get it right. Yeah, that's a lie. British Columbia teen makes history as first female skater drafted to the Canadian Hockey League. What? Okay. This better not be some fucking stupid trans shit. like, BC teen makes history as first female skater drafted to the Canadian Hockey League. Oh, okay. Okay. Chloe Primerano, must be Italian, age 15, has made history as the first female skater ever drafted to the Canadian Hockey League. Well, I feel like hockey people have to be skaters. Or wait, skater, that means a skateboarder, right? Or does that mean an ice skater? I don't.
When they say skater, they mean like figure skater or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm lost. The Women's Hockey League, along with the Ontario and Quebec Junior Leagues. Does anybody actually care about the Women's Hockey League? Make up the Canadian Hockey League, the highest level of junior hockey in the country. While there have been appearances by female goaltenders in the Canadian League, this person is the only female skater to be drafted to a team. Huh. Well, I'm glad it's an actual girl.
Huh? As opposed to a blow-up one.
Or you know, a male pretending to be a girl.
Well,
wait,
it's
what?
Consenting adult.
The British Columbian team played last season with the Burnaby Winter Club's under 15 program. Okay. Now she says she is thrilled to be an inspiration to little girls in rinks all over Canada.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I got confused for a minute. I was going to stop reading, but then I scrolled down and it looked like she was holding a skateboard, but no, she wasn't. So I got my skaters confused. She was a skater girl. She said, "See you later, girl." Yeah. Wow, they're doing it again. 6 hours ago. Now, remember the article I started off getting mad at on Wednesday with something about white supremacists in the Canada?
Yeah.
Well, 6 hours ago, they just wrote this. Racist conspiracy theory that inspires Buffalo shooter also unifies white supremacists in Canada.
Of course.
Pretty much the same shit written all over again.
Well, they
Has
always got to
the
conflate.
replacement.
You got to understand, BG, there's certain people in Canada who really kind of wish that we were more American. You know, they act really proud of the fact that we're not American, but then the Americans will do stuff and it makes them feel like, oh, well, we're not really part of the crowd unless we do stuff like the Americans. So they'll conflate what the Americans are doing with shit that we're not for no reason, because they're stupid.
Yep.
It's Canada.
Here's what I don't get, though. It says, whoever it goes by, the great replacement, or another name, the conspiracy theory embraced by the accused Buffalo, New York gunman has inspired several mass shootings in recent years. Didn't this mass shooting just happen?
Yeah.
So how has it inspired things in recent years? Are they trying to say it's a
Mass
great
shootings have
replacement?
happened. There's been there's been quote unquote, or there has been quote unquote 4 mass shootings since this has actually happened.
Yeah, but they're not
Problem is,
talking about those. They're talking about in Canada and around the world. They're not talking about those. Like, they're talking about around the world. This same conspiracy has somehow fueled stuff in our country for the past couple of years. And I'm like, no, it hasn't. Like, this just happened, and you decided that this was attributed to the far right, even though it's attributed to the left, you fucking a-holes. They're going to
even
throw
though
in.
he's flat out said he's in the left.
I know, right?
There it is. The 2017 Quebec City mosque shooting. There's one of them. It was not inspired by the Great Replacement. You fucking moron. That was by a fucking guy that decided they didn't like the Islamic. Probably from the same guy that likes to shoot up mosques. Using fear of urgent threat to spur violence. Sounds like something you'd do. Like, let's be real here. Yeah. Cat, get off ceiling.
Wilson, how'd you get on the ceiling?
The wall.
Oh. Still talented, though.
Yeah, it looks like Freddy Krueger had a blowjob on the sides of my wall. Just saying.
No, it's fine. It's the part where it sounded like he was walking on the ceiling, too. It's just like, oh, wow, okay. And he got there from the wall. All right.
He just climbs up the wall like an asshole.
And then clings to the ceiling with his claws. It's like one of those cartoons I remember from a kid, being a kid, you know.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Wilson, if you ever do that, you need to remind your mommy to get it on camera. You need to meow at her until she gets a camera.
Well, that's the thing. Every time he's doing something retarded, that I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pull the camera out. He's like, nope. He just jumps up. So I'm like, oh, fine, fuck it. You got me trained to not pull out my camera. Fine, fuck it. Right, Big Joe? That's almost the time. Yeah, I know, right, Big Joe? 3 times more. Plug in. Circular thingamajigger. Woohoo! Support Ukraine crisis. The fuck? I can't afford to support Ukraine crisis. The fuck you talking about? Like, seriously, the fuck you talking about? Like, I mean, if I could agree to support, Ukraine, like, if I was Elon Musk, okay, sure. But I'm not. Guess I gotta find other stuff.
Nah, we're getting close to 6 o'clock. I mean, it's been an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Do we have anything fun going on in the future that we want to talk about for a few minutes before we shut down the stream? Lighten it up and then, say your goodbyes. You got future plans?
Do I even know how to be fun?
Usually. I mean, it's sarcastic fun, but it's sort of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's sarcastic fun. You seem to tend to take things with sarcasm, so.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Alright.
Well, it is almost the weekend. Usually that means nothing. I think you said you were arguing with Jack's papa earlier, so I don't know what that means. But do you have pool time with the Jacko?
Yeah, and Pat's gonna be there tomorrow. No, we were arguing about Jack making friends.
Okay.
Now Pat says to be a friend with my son is a tall order that we're asking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so? And he's like, and autistics make friends like autistic people do. They don't make friends like normal people do. And I'm thinking, okay. And he's like, so I'm like, well, he needs to reciprocate in order to make a friend. And Pat goes, no. He needs emotional regulation before he can make a friend. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure he needs the skill first. And then through the product of him growing up and becoming a man, he learns emotional regulation. I feel like children make friends with other children before they even have an emotional regulatory system. But regardless, because then Pat says, because nobody wants to be friends with a kid that loses his shit because you said no to him having a cookie. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not wrong, but I think step one is to reciprocate friendship. Then it's to learn emotional regulatory systems and build stronger friendships. And I'm like, I don't want him to be a social butterfly. I just want him to have one. Just one. His first. His first doesn't have to be his forever friend. He probably won't be his forever friend. They're both 8 years old. But they could be. You just never know.
Mm-hmm.
But Patrick thinks I'm going about it the wrong way. And I think Patrick's a retard. So I guess neither of us will be happy.
I think Pat is just emotionally lazy. Like, if he doesn't have to invest in somebody else's kid, why does he have to?
Well, he doesn't want somebody else's kid having to carry our kid through life.
Mm.
Like, that's why he doesn't want my daughter to know Jack. Because he doesn't think it's fair to Fawn. Which I find odd.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, I have enough for a pack of smoke.
Almost as though he kind of wants Jack to be fully dependent on him for life, even though he knows that's not possible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, that's not possible. And even though the rest of us are kind of normal, guess what, Pat? We all have moments in life where we have to, ask people for help. It's almost like that's why we have friends and stuff. And we reciprocate that by helping them out, too. I mean, that's not the only reason you have friends, but it helps.
I also blame opinionated Scotsman Cryptic. Okay. All right. We only got, 25 minutes of the stream left? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the stream, since there's only 5 people that are stuck here anyways, we're going for a walk with me to get cigarettes while we're live on air.
Yep. That's fine.
That's what's happening next.
That is cool.
I found enough change.
It's like having one of those streams where you get to travel through Canada without actually traveling through Canada.
I found enough fucking change for $17.
Hey, I'd take it. I would do it. Go for a 20-pack, though, because, you know, just in case. I don't think they've gone up, but they like to surprise me like that.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. They like to surprise everybody like that. They're just assholes.
They are.
Wilson! Stop it!
I only say because we're also at the time of the year where they'll do that. Like, they'll throw it in like an extra 30 to 50 cents just, because you're not paying attention. Then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, buddy. Those are already really expensive. Why are they more expensive?
right? And it's like they know that smokes are more addictive than heroin. What the fuck? You're not a shoe, Ozzy. Get out of there. And they're like, we know they're gonna pay it even if they can't afford it because it's more addictive than heroin. So all tax, no value. There you go. That's what you get. Ozzy was in the shoe rack, and I mistook him as a shoe.
I'm adding photos to the meme reel.
That's also a good idea.
Yes, it is. There's a picture of an orangutan chasing after a little kid. It says monkeypox, and the 11 people who still believe the media. I was like, that's fantastic.
And then Pat says, you know, why does Jack even need a friend? And then he said that my son is a statistic. Because I said, statistically speaking, Jack will die 5 years after the both of us do because nobody's there to advocate for his lack of a voice. But I think Jack can still be vocal. I think there's a chance that Jack can still talk to him. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because he can say but it. Okay?
Yeah.
Which means he can't blend words. Now, the fact that he's saying the word with individual sounds tells me he has the neurological structure in his mind to speak.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that his motor deficiencies and his physical deficiencies expand to his face. And so I think if we get him to be aware that his lips and his cheek muscles are there, if we get him to be aware and start using them, then maybe he will blend because he has the motor function in his face to do it. So I spent 24 hours searching this shit up because I'm like that.
Yep.
And the first 2 things are get gum.
Mm-hmm.
3 things, sorry. Buy gum, use bubbles and straws, and flavored lip chap.
Yep.
Which will motivate him to lick his face. Then next, it's to get him to move food from one side of his mouth into the other and to blow through a straw into his milk. And then after that, hopefully we'll start to see him blend words. So I told Patrick that's the plan. And he said, Jack, what is the likelihood of Jack becoming verbal? And I said, about 8%. And he's like, well, Jack is already a fucking statistic because there's only 5% of Jacks in the world out there. He's not wrong. And I said, but that doesn't mean we can't try.
So you're going to handicap your child without being... Okay, got it. Sorry.
In other words, is why try? He's probably not going to be anything special. And I'm like, well, what if he's the next Temple Grandin? Or Carly Fleshman? Or Elon Musk?
Even if he couldn't pronounce every word, being able to pronounce half of the words he could use allows him to say things to people. That's the point. That's the only point he should even need.
You're not wrong.
Like, even if he always speaks English like a gimp, he's at least communicating. I'm not saying that to be mean, YouTube. I'm not. I'm saying this on and I shouldn't be. It shouldn't be on his behalf. He should have at least enough options, even if it's garbled English, to speak that much. It's worth it to give him a shot. Because if he can understand what the tablet is, it's not that he doesn't understand. You know, needs a little help.
And I mean, why not? Why not at least try? I can at least then know that, well, I tried and it didn't work, whereas you never know if you don't try.
Everything that they've recommended for it is effectively a toy anyway. Blowing bubbles. And it's like bubble gum.
$5. It's a $5 price tag.
Yeah. I mean, is Pat unwilling to play with his kid? Because they're just toys. Bubbles with your kid. Once a day for 5 minutes.
You guys are going in the elevator.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it with him. It's like you're asking him to do something simple, like, hey, could you play with these things with him for a little bit? You know, let's just see if it works on him. Doesn't do anything. Well, you didn't lose anything, did you? There are times where he does stuff like that where I'm just like, I feel like he's mentally lazy for no reason. Sorry, he's probably watching this too, going like, "Why is this bitch judging me?" It's for things that doesn't.
No, he's not watching. Although it was funny because Patrick actually said Tucker's name today.
Mm.
He invoked me and Trucker. And it's funny because it's something that Trucker is going to think is fucking hilarious. Okay? So here's the thing. What is this? What could you earn? You could earn $30,000 30,000 points this summer. Nobody cares. Okay.
30,000 points?
Yeah, it was for PC. Okay. So funny story. He's like, because I said, I have no emotional regulatory system. How am I supposed to give it to Pete Jack to use one? And he's like, well, that's true. He's like, but you've probably gotten better since we were together. And I'm like, fuck you talking about? And he's like, well, take you and Trucker. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be good. Have you ever refrained from saying a certain topic because you know that it'll cause an argument? And I'm like, I said, Patrick,
No.
you don't want to go down this road. You don't want to go down this road, bud. He's like, well, I mean, certainly you curbed your attitude a little bit. And I'm like, dude, there are days for me and Trucker have gone weeks without talking because we've just said fuck you to each other. And he's like, no. And I'm like, yep. And he's like, you're 36. You seriously still do that? And I'm like, no, I never would do that. Not Trucker. I've never done that. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Nope. What are you talking about?
Patrick doesn't believe that I will broach topics that will anger my internet buddies.
No, but you do it all the time.
I know. He doesn't believe that I do it all the time. And I'm like, Patrick, for you to say that, do you really honestly hear yourself right now? I'm like, I have been the same person since I was like 25.
Like, that would make for a really boring stream.
I'm obnoxious. I like to push the ticket, push the fucking envelope, see how far I can fucking go. And I'm like,
You know what you ought to do?
curb
One day,
my temper.
one day, not just one day while you're on Discord, when you know who's dropping Jack on, dropping them off or picking them up, and you're on the phone with your Discord, just turn the speaker on, let them hear.
Okay. I will totally do that on Saturday or Wednesday. We'll do it Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be funny. I'm like, Patrick, I'll give you an example. And he's like, okay. I'm like, there was a time when I thought it was very important that if there was an important news article that I thought was important to inform people about, and it was a topic that I knew just made his blood fucking purr. Just wanted to claw my throat out. And I would see it, and I would think, Trucker's Wrath, news article. Trucker's Wrath, news article. And I'd read the fucking article like a bitch. And he's like,
Although if it's really too bad, you'll kind of warn me so I can get lost for a while.
I've gotten used to that, like to actually doing that. But I had to form that habit because Patrick thinks if I want to be funny, or if I want to talk to people in a room of people, or if I want to be the center of attention like I'm being right now, even though I sometimes wish I wasn't. Anyway, that I think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And I'm like, oh, fuck, no. I just do things on the spot. I'm a in the moment kind of person. I don't sit there and think about what I'm about to say on this live stream. I just fucking word vomit it. I just fucking blow chunks. And he's like, so instead of being considerate and instead of exposing Trucker to something that you know would bring up personal trauma by giving him a trigger warning or something, I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, trigger warning, Pat. He's like, well, you know what I mean? Instead of being good like that, you're a cunt. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but Trucker is a big man. He can take it. And I mean, I've tried to file down my sharp edges. I've tried. But Trucker's a big man. And he knows how to take me.
I'm a big man who lives on the opposite side of the continent from you. I mean, what the hell harm am I physically?
No, but I think you're big enough to for the most part, take the fact that I'm a huge ass cunt.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah, let's be fair. Let's be fair. During the streams, such as the one we're on now, sometimes if you and I are going to clash heads on things, you know, genuinely clash heads and get completely heated and angered and all that at each other, it makes for good entertainment as far as the audience goes.
True. Although I attempt to say PG trigger warning, you know, before I do something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, but then also the funny part is on that, which a lot of people who are, you know, the folks in the chat don't realize, is we'll be pissed off as hell at each other, and as soon as the stream goes off, it'll be, you good? Yeah. Okay. You good? Yeah. Okay.
You're not wrong. Hello.
Anyway.
Good, how you doing? Yes, please.
All right. So we should probably start to continue with the petering off part. So, do you have any plans this week, Trucker?
Peter.
Yeah, pretty much. You got any plans this week?
Let's see here. I plan to work.
Thank you very kindly.
A weekend.
I'm actually kind of happy. I'm still kind of laughing at something happened earlier this morning, and good for a chuckle. So this week or this morning, my name got pulled for the random drug test that you know cares in the U.S. Yeah, I know it's not so random. The thing is, they don't realize the company I work for they don't seem to understand that I'm not on drugs. I'm just eccentric. I'm very eccentric. But that being said, you know, I go to get the drugs or I go get the drug test, and the first thing that's funny is I'm sitting here thinking to myself always, I only need my ID with me to walk into that place. So why do I always come with my pockets loaded up with everything that I need for the day, when I could just as easily just leave it in the truck for 5 minutes, and in that amount of time, you know, any of the stuff I need for the day, I don't need for those next 10 minutes. But that in and of itself is one thing. So I'm always sitting there, you know, pulling out my wallet, my keys, and pocket knives and all this stuff. And the lady always made the same comment they always do. You know, why do you need so many pocket knives? Well, you know, if you ever tell me you need a pocket knife, I'm going to ask you what for. She's like, why? I was like, well, it depends. You know, I'm not going to give you a knife to chip a piece of gum off your shoe that I'm getting ready to cut my dinner with. So she's like, oh, her comment is fair point. But then all of a sudden, then we're sitting there chatting, and they notice that my name comes up very often for drug tests. And the comment was, is there any reason why it's always me? I was like, I'm very convinced that it's because I'm diabetic, and if there's one thing about diabetics is we are able to pee on command.
Agreed.
So I think
Diabetics
that's
are
why.
dead.
Yeah, I think that's why they keep choosing me.
Or because you're eccentric and you're just always on drugs.
Yeah. Although I will say I'm happy. This is the first drug test I've had in several years where I did not walk out of there without my beard. So they tend to do hair tests a lot.
Oh yeah.
Where today, yeah, it tends to be hair tests, and the only hair long enough to do the hair test on me is my beard. So I tend to lose my beard a lot. And this time I'm lucky because it was literally just pee in a cup.
By the way,
So yeah.
Pierre is very Canadian.
The what?
The air is what?
You're very
Yeah.
windy.
Oh, sorry, that's a car they're driving, and they shouldn't be driving because gas. Climate change. I forgot I'm in public.
They
That's why I
must
shouldn't
think
do
you're
that.
like some crazy blind person.
I just forgot that I'm in public on a live stream, and I probably shouldn't fucking do that. Nigga. I mean,
I
so
heard.
anyways, thank you
I
for
heard
not
somebody
running me
say.
over.
Actually, I heard somebody say today that there's places in Quebec where it's $4 or not $4, $3 a liter for fuel.
Is it because they're French and they don't know how to put a price tag on?
No, they got higher inflation too. They do. They
Okay,
tend to.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Pierre's
That's
Canadian.
still. I mean, that's about $10 a gallon converted to us.
Yeah.
Pierre is very Canadian. Okay?
Very
I've
Canadian.
discovered that he's very Canadian. Want to know why? In a free market example, he goes, free market's good. The reason free market's good is because at the end of the day, the two parties that has exchanged things are always better for it. And then he says, for example, you pay $2.50 for that Timmy's cup of coffee. Timmy's wants your money, and you've decided that the cup of coffee is worth parting with that $2.50. Both of you are better off. And I'm like, wow, you are so fucking Canadian.
Well, for all you know, he worked at one. I don't know that as a fact. I'd have to check with Chris because I don't know if he remembers any of his friends'
I don't
jobs. But
think he worked at one because he started in politics as a teenager, which is actually interesting. That's young to start in politics, if I'm being honest. No wonder everybody that's fucking in power is so fucking old.
well, that's kind of how it works. Is
It takes you fucking forever to get up there, yeah.
Noticed and getting the attention and not selling your soul a million times first.
Well, and you gotta have a lot of money to be the leader too.
Yeah, that too.
Which means a poor person that understands why people are poor will never be our Canadian leader. But since everybody's poor in this country, I guess we're all the same.
Yeah, that's what they want. They just want us to be happy about it. They can't understand why we're not happy about it. Like,
Get a muffler! Get a freaking muffler! For the love of God, Canada, get mufflers.
They never. Donation before we leave.
Lucky Charms donation.
God.
I am donating to myself to say that I love to lick creamy maple syrup
Yeah,
that
we
looks
already
like
know.
ranch dressing.
We already know.
It might looks cream of some
Oh,
young
God.
guy, but yum yum.
Yeah.
I'm at my computer, which means I don't have to know, thank God.
You're fine. You're not missing out on much.
Did it have anything to do with dicks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
It's always
shit.
to do with the
Big Joe,
splooge. There's always
are you
splooge.
gay?
Yeah,
You're
he
gay,
really
aren't
likes splooge. He's a sploogers.
you? He's a splooger.
Yeah.
Fucking food.
You know what? We have a term for that up here. It's called hoser. He's a fucking hoser.
Yeah, I love that term. Hoser. He's a fucking hoser.
You're just a fucking hoser. Don't be such a
Yeah.
fucking hoser.
There, you guys got a tour Canadian, even though you didn't see a thing.
Right?
Where it's just basically a lot of loud cars and crazy women screaming random shit. Welcome to the city, and it's not even as big as fucking Calgary.
No, but that makes me giggle because one of my coworkers used to yell at hookers across from her balcony, and she'd yell something like she's got the hair, and she'd do it from an angle so you didn't know where she was coming from. I'm just like, I had good friends. She's got the hair. And my boss is just like, yeah, you like that one. Well, I used to whistle off the corner of my building, and then he was on a corner suite, so he could switch to the other side and then whistle from that end. You know, because if you know anything about big cities, that's how drug dealers message each other, is through whistles. And so he was like, I'm gonna just whistle off into the opposite direction. He was awesome.
You do that with crazy people, except I would make them think there's a cat down the hall.
That too. Fun times.
It'd be like, you, Mrs. Person that works here, either gonna give me an extra snack, or I'm gonna make the schizophrenics chase a tabby cat down the hall. Pick one. They tried me on the first one. The second time they gave me my snack. Because I made a lot of schizophrenics chase tabby cats down the hole. It was worth it. It was totally worth it.
Yeah.
Hi, Wilson. God damn, it's hot. And I'm actually noticing it's hot, which is why it's hot. Usually I'm like, fuck, I'm cold. But today it's like, god damn, it's hot. Nothing makes me happy.
Yep. It's either too hot or too cold.
Except for this live stream and Big Dro. That makes me happy. Only because I'm a broke person. So, Big Dro, thank you. For the record, all the donations today are going to Jack Swimming. I did legit fund change for my smokes, in case anybody's wondering. This shit's going to Jack Swimming tomorrow. Ugh.
It would take you longer. It would take you longer than it did to get money out if you were doing it that way. So don't worry about it. Nobody's that silly.
Just in case people wondered. Mm-hmm. I blame blind people who smoke. Fuck. You know what? Most of the people I hang around with smoke, so I just blame them. I'm wondering what kind of iced tea I should make tonight. Peach or raspberry?
I feel like if you go with raspberry, you're going to be hearing raspberry jokes for a while. So go with peach.
Done. And you see, I make iced tea by taking 2 tea bags and a half a cup of sugar and a bunch of water. That's how I make cold tea.
That's not a bad way to do it. Do you know how I used to do sweet tea at Starbucks? They have a giant tea bag that they then pour into like maybe a cup and a half to 2 cups of hot water, so it condenses it, or makes it more condensed. Sorry, I said that weird. And then they add syrup to it to sweeten it, and then they add water to it. That's what their iced tea is. So you're not wrong. You're not doing it different. They just do a bigger bag that's concentrated.
That's tasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's very tasty, I think. If I'm being honest, it's very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. So I tried to do filler for the past 25 minutes. Did it work?
No, we're good. We could probably leave. I just wanted to do something nice and, let you guys do a, talk about life a little bit, but not too much, and, a little bit, and, advertise for yourself, too. Is there anything going on in life? I don't think there is, really.
Wait, what? That donation was from me?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch. I am donating to myself to say that I love to lick creamy maple syrup. Okay, I don't like maple syrup that much, and creamy maple syrup wouldn't even look like what you're insinuating it does. So what the fuck? That's all I have to say about that. That looks like ranch dressing. No, it doesn't look like ranch dressing when it's all creamed and shit. I should know. It might look cream of some young guy, but yum yum. Okay, now you just made me sound Asian. I'm not fucking Asian. I'm not. I'm not Asian. I don't know where you get this shit from. I'm not freaking Asian.
And the cream of some young guy joke went right over her head.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I don't think they do that with maple syrup. I get the joke. I'm just saying, like, the creamed up maple syrup, they don't really do that. That's a honey thing. Sorry, I'm autistic. I'm stuck on that.
So actually,
Wait.
don't y'all call that shit like maple taffy or maple candy or something? Where you just take maple syrup and toss it out in the fucking snow?
It's frozen maple syrup then.
Yeah, but that stays a brown color.
Yeah, it doesn't
that'd
become
be the
creamed.
cream. That'd be the cream of some old guy in a nursing home that chugs prune juice. Ah, God, why did I say that?
I don't know.
Oh,
you like to create your own mental images for some reason.
Oh, God, that was not okay.
Yeah.
See, I'd have to say when it's an old guy in a nursing home like that, when he achieves, I imagine that's like, the tailpipe of an old car that hasn't started in 10 years. It starts up and it's just that puff of dust, just like.
No. All right, on that note,
Yep.
I'm going to hand it over to Jen. I'm going to stop talking.
No, we're good. All right. So, for things coming up in the future, Monday is always going to be hit and a miss, but we should be doing stuff on Monday on the Blind Girls channel, which is technically this one, but
Which is also a Canadian holiday because it's May 2-4 weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
So Victoria Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels so Britishy whenever it's Victoria Day.
It does.
That was stuff we could talk about, but then we didn't. Prince Charles is in our country. I honestly don't give a shit because the guy's on holiday with his wife. I know it's a big hoopla for us because it's like, oh my god, the royals are here. Oh la 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 la. And be fair.
No. It used to be, oh my god, the royals are here, blah 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 blah. Now it's white supremacists are here, blah 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 blah.
Oh, is that what they're doing now? Oh yeah, I guess they would have done that. It is Prince Charles, which is stupid. Listen, Diana wasn't black. She didn't cheat on a black woman. And he didn't cheat on her with a black woman. So, just get over it.
But the royals are so racist.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
In that interview where they're all like, oh, they were asking about the color of the baby, they were asking if it was going to come out ginger. Make no mistake. They were asking on whether or not that kid was going to come out ginger.
Well,
they're British.
Wait, are the Brits gingers?
The British rag on the gingers more than anybody else.
Well, they're like stepchildren.
Right? It's a joke with the Brits. They rag on the gingers all the time. Like if you see a ginger in England, guaranteed they've ragged on him for being a ginger. It's not necessarily a big deal. It's just some people are too sensitive nowadays. And I think she heard that and she was like, well, I'm a narcissist. So if you're making a joke, clearly it's about me and not at all about my ginger husband.
Oh. You think so?
Mm-hmm. I 100% believe so.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah.
But Prince Charles being here, what people don't understand is even though I don't give a shit on whether or not he and his wife are here because they're on holiday. That's where I stand. What it does do for our country, though, that I do appreciate for them for, is they always tend to showcase the best parts of Canada. Like when the royals come here to visit, like when they're not chomping it here like Prince Harry was, um, they do have a tendency to highlight some of the better parts of our country. Like they go to places, they show off that people here are really nice, and they rub it into everywhere that Canada is kind of a beautiful fucking country. So you know what? I appreciate them for that. Hey, it's Jack. He came by to say goodnight to you.
Oh, hi Jack. You don't have to spam. It's okay, buddy. You should already be in bed. Why are you saying goodnight to me now? I mean, I love you. Mwah. I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good sleep, Jack. It is getting kind of late, isn't it? It's like 8:30 now. Have good sleeps.
Yes, yeah. Enjoy your sleeps.
Pizza swim. Oh yeah, you are gonna swim, and you probably will have enough for pizza too.
Okay, if you want pizza on top of that, maybe.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's all good.
I
I
don't
can
know.
still sing "Happy Birthday" to Cryptic. You know, just say "Happy
Yeah.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Woo.
dear Cryptic.
And you
Happy
just
birthday
like
to
one, two.
And now that he's going to have nightmares before he goes to sleep tonight. I'm sorry, Cryptic. Hope you do have a good birthday, though. Hope your mom made you something yummy and delicious and happy.
She probably made him rice.
Yeah. But it was probably yummy and delicious, and it had mom's love all over it. But not literally, because that's gross. I'm sorry, Cryptic, for other reasons. I didn't mean to. I meant seasoning. Like how my mom can make something and I can make something and it could be the same dish and somehow magically she just does it better. I don't know how.
Quit while you're ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
he's
right.
on vacation. He's on vacation, honey. Go to sleep before I text Daddy. Yeah, he's on vacation at Rockfest. I was supposed to be there, but then I didn't want to get vaccinated.
Oh yeah. That's right. Well, that's okay. He's at a rock concert. You know, kind of like a vacation, but for a week. They used to call them a rave. Do you remember those days, Tracker? Remember back in those days? I mean, I'm not saying you went to them, but I remember back in those days when the kids had raves.
I've been known to be at a few.
You ever been to a rave, BJ?
No, I never went to raves, but Patrick was a raver. So was Scotty's parents, actually. And, honey, no, we cannot play Fuck Yeah on this stream.
That's my fault. I don't know how. I would, but I don't know how. So I'll have to make up. I'll have to make up for it next time. Okay, kiddo?
Yeah. Fuck yes for Sunday Funday, but kids, Sunday Funday isn't going to be around tomorrow, so just ask Daddy to put on the Fuck Yeah song.
Yeah. Your dad'll do it.
He'd do it.
He'd do
it. Jack doesn't really want the Fuck Yeah song. Jack wants fucking Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he does.
Sorry, I don't got the Dale. I mean, I'd make jokes about Turbo, but I don't really know that show very well. Other than that it's snails and they're running. Yeah! Jack!
All you need to know is that snail is fast.
Right? Zoom zoom.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Good night, Jack, and I hope you say you love me. I mean, I know who you're actually saying that to, but I'm sure you love me too. I'm sure it's fine. He loves everybody but me.
It's unspoken, of course he loves you.
Yeah, right, Jack? You know, like,
Aww. Aw, poor BG. He loves you too.
you know, in some cultures, it's okay to eat your children.
Your mom's a praying mantis.
Exactly.
I think that's the wrong one, though. I might have got that one wrong. Next name on that last one. IR fake news.
Oh my god. My child's telling me to go away on my own, Kevin. I'm just myself profanity.
Well, I think we're technically kind of due to shut down the stream anyway, though. So.
Oh yeah, feel free because I'm gonna text his dad if he doesn't go to bed soon.
Well, I just don't want to disappoint him by turning it off, you know. So Jack, I just letting you know we were going to end the stream now. So, you know, I hope you have a good night and you know, say good night to your daddy. You know, you said good night to your mommy. So, you know, and have a good sleep, okay? And I hope everyone who came out and joined us tonight had a good day and a good evening, and thank you very much for coming to join us. And we appreciate y'all. Thank you to my hosts, my co-hosts, Miss Blind Girl and Mr. Tracker Matt. I always appreciate you both. And it sounds like it's about to start pouring in my side of the country. So I hope tomorrow I get to send that to you, because that's usually how it goes in my country.
Yeah, we're getting it tomorrow.
And I hope you have fun swimming. And that is tomorrow, right? You're swimming tomorrow?
Yep, he gets to go swim his diamond.
All right. Well, have fun with the swimming. All right. And everybody have a good night.